Hello everybody, I'm on the day. Okay. I'm not in live. How is everybody? How life? How is gentlemen? How are your women? Women, how are your gentlemen? You know? All my G's, everybody. I see Mr. T from Italy. He's in the house. All my niggas, get it in. Yeah, let's do this real quick. Is you ready? Let's do this. Yeah. So today's topic, I want to touch on this. Now the two things most people don't ask me about Yoruba Nation, and also what I got to talk about my dad and this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame business. So yeah, that's cool. Let's do that. As Yoruba people will say, share Rojo. Let me apologize. My internet was down all day yesterday night. Till this for some reason, no work at all. So I was on that, so that's why I couldn't jump on the live early. But now I don't day. So on the Yoruba Nation thing, my first on the Yoruba Nation thing. Wait, one light there on my back. One light. Yeah. Sorry guys. Yeah, I'm back. Hello everybody. So now let's go. I will start on the Yoruba Nation. I'll start like this. I go one meeting with some of my comrades where they the left of politics for Nigeria, you know. We what they call radicals and rebels and revolutionaries. We go one meeting, you know, where they host some press people for their event to talk about the strike of the lawyers, I think that time. I mean the judges court workers strike, this Jusun strike, you know, and I don't think say any time for this our country other than the time where they fight against the colonialists, where there's so many strikes going on at the same time, you know. Almost, I mean, how many organizations are on strike? How many people they strike right now? Can we count? So many. Anyway, so after the whole press conference thing come finish, one journalist come meet me to interview me. Then the journalist come ask me, say, Sheon, we won't find out from you something. I say, what thing they won't find out? Is that my that was my see Aki Sugar is in the house. You know, maybe we don't say this Mr. Sugar. All of us now grow up for Ikeja or Fale. I know when they do bad boy for streets. Yes, believe it or not, Sugar was a bad boy, a very bad boy. I mean, I know a secret. Now we will do away for Kalakuta be this real Kalakuta man. Now you see so. No day when Sugar they call Kalakuta that time. Every fucking day, Sugar don't expose you. All these people you go play for their wedding, when they say you the responsible gentleman of the Sugar band. Sugar, oh, it's good to see you on here, bro. Sugar was a crazy man. I said, when I tell you, a mad man. That's it. This one, the part of people who spoil me for Ikeja be that they teach us all the bad things we learn that time. Anyway, let's move on. So this journalist, he come with me, he say, Sheon, when will ESN, that is the militant wing of IPOB, of Independent Peoples of Biafra, their militant wing, the ESN, when will ESN and Ebube DK Abi Ebube Agu, yes, that is the establishment security agency, he said, Seun, when are they going to fight? When do you think they will start their war? And immediately he asked me that. Now this is not between Yoruba and Igbo, or Yoruba and Hausa, or Igbo and Yoruba, or Yoruba and Hausa, or anything. This was among Igbo people. There are two factions. And the journalist asked me immediately, Seun, when they will start fight? Come take, baby. So, he said, which time they go start fight? Now I say, why you know ask me, say, when will ESN and Ebube Agu come to the negotiation table? Should I hear? I can't answer immediately. I say, you are asking me when they will fight war. Why you know ask me when they will come negotiation table? Now I'm gonna key into that little scenario where I give on a day. Because now by force say we must fight to separate. This is the first question where we as Nigerian people must realize and answer. England just come up for EU. Did England fight anybody to leave EU? How many people did they fight? How many of themselves did they kill? Scotland right now, the Scottish are agitating to leave England. The Scottish want to leave England. Why are they not saying that they want to fight war with England before they are allowed to leave? Now don't get me twisted though. I'm not saying that these people cannot fight. They don't fight, they fight too. But understand the narrative. If the journalist said to me direct, Seun, what do you think of ESN and Ebube Agu? Then I will know that there is no narrative being constructed. For him to pose the question, he already framed the question in violence. Don't you understand? They are trying to make sure that must we fight? That's my own question. Must it be a fight? If we no one do again, why our elites? Why are all these people that are agitating? Not agitating for referendum easily. Why are they not agitating? Because you see, referendum now puts the decision in the hands of the people. They want constitutional conference. They want this. They want it to be they should pick among themselves. They should pick among themselves to help us divide, or we are going to fight war and divide. If Nigeria truly wants to divide, we must pose it in a referendum way. We must pose it in a referendum program. Yes or no votes to all the people in this country, so that we can make our arguments for and against, and the people will be carried along every step of the way, because you will need them to make the final decision. Even before we see that, before we do constitutional conference, democratically in any country, if you want to do a constitutional review, you must put it to the people. The people must hear the argument why. Then the people will now decide again, yes or no vote for the review, before you carry your review forward. But when only handful of people want to make decisions for hundreds of millions of people, you understand, this is what you now get. Everybody is only discussing one angle, one way of separating Nigeria, which is to kill millions of us, to kill millions of Nigerians in the name of separating Nigeria. Abi? That's what they are pushing for. But there's another way, ladies and gentlemen. There's another way we take as the people. If they want to separate, if we want to separate, let us debate it in a referendum, not with gun and bloodshed as all these ones are doing. Everybody carrying gun up and down. Journalists asking me when two brothers will fight. I said, why are you not asking me when these two brothers will come to the negotiation table to decide to strengthen themselves against their common enemy? Now, let's go on from there. Even though they won't force their narrative on us to become violent and break up violently, me, I won't pose certain questions to the Yoruba people where none of these their so-called Yoruba nation leaders, they pose to them, they ask them. If the Yoruba people are going to leave Nigeria, let me tell you, it's not overnight. Anybody will tell you say Yoruba people can leave Nigeria overnight, over 2 years, over 10-year period, that person is trying to put you on that long jump. You see, now what we do like this, our problem needs like 50 years to see front. As in dedication, 50 good years of dedication to not be to fix them, to begin see the road where we will take fix and say to come balance. We want to say, okay, now we are moving forward. You understand? Not if you move Nigeria, if they stagger, you drunkard, they will no balance, when they stagger. That's what Nigeria be. Anyhow, we go front small, go fall back anyhow. That's what it be. So if we must sober up, balance first. That's sobering up and balancing. Go take like all around do so anybody here can knock me. You know you're going to put it on. Yes now. All around do this is no respecter. All around do this is no respecter of persons. I've said all around do this.
He's on live, don't be rude.
It doesn't even matter. I've said all around do this. She'll still come beat me.
She'll say Chef Ru.
How you do? I don't beat her now. I've beaten her. How you doing, Chef Ru?
No, I'm trying to, I want you to laugh at
so, when they can't finish their war now, when they won't fight, they will add another 100 years. See that 50 years now, we want to add 100 years of stress and problem on top of our head before we can even start moving forward. So if we get any sense at all, we understand that we don't want add extra 100 years. Waiting will make our life, even though we want to separate in the way that our life go better way. So now, when I tell people, say we as Yoruba people, we are not even ready to be without Nigeria. Dear Yoruba people, how many refineries will I get for Yoruba land? How many petroleum refineries will I get for Yoruba land? Let's start there. Tell me how many refineries we get for Yoruba land. So when we separate from this Nigeria, how do we get our petrol to use? That's still the same game of Nigeria. We would import petrol, they pay some people subsidy. So now what you go see they do for the Nigeria? Now what you go see they do for this Nigeria? These so-called Oduduwa people. My brother, if Fulani get refinery for Yoruba land, you go good, we'll fix season. Where did the refinery? How many refinery did for Yoruba land? We won't use one. You think one refinery can fulfill the needs of all Yoruba people? And now, but that Dangote get up now. The Yoruba people get up. The Yoruba people get up. If you pursue outside people come out for Nigeria, not be Nigeria get Dangote. Nigeria invest inside Dangote refinery now. You don't know. Now Nigeria invest inside. So if you break away from Nigeria, Nigeria will charge us to use them or make they break them down, go reassemble and somewhere else. So with time, the Yoruba nation must become self-sufficient before independent. We must become self-sufficient. We must negotiate with our Igbo brothers because we need them for their expertise. As we use them for, we need them. We must negotiate properly with our Hausa brothers because that's where all your pepper comes from, motherfuckers. All the pepper. And all of now when they smoke Igbo like me, they don't fit chop food, they don't get pepper. First of all. So what are you going to do about food, about your pepper, about your tomato, about your onions? Reduce your volume, Nick. I'll pursue you from my house. I'm on live here, man. Sorry. It's my wife friend. We must become self-sufficient, or at least may they give us the strategy of our self-sufficiency as Yoruba people, or want to be Yoruba nation or Dudua nation, whatever people want to call this thing you are doing right now. You want to be inside there and still be begging for money for food, as you are doing now as Nigerians. That's when they beg for food, beg for military aid, beg for educational aid, beg for this one, beg for that one. Is that what people want to do? In this Nigeria, where will your meat come from? What is going on? We must now begin say, okay, if we truly want to be independent, we want a referendum. After the referendum don't hold, then we start national discussion. We as African people, Igbo people are African people, Hausa people, I don't know about the Fulani people, because Fulani are outsiders. Let's just face the fact. They are outsiders, they are invaders that invaded our land just like anybody else. And that's why the North is the way it is today. Because our northern brothers and sisters are still under Arabic colonialization. Because now they always think only Western colonization day. Arabic colonization of Africa started before Western colonization of Africa. And as we liberate ourselves from the Western, we forget to liberate our northern brothers and sisters from their own oppressors, from their Arabic overlords. You understand? So, understanding, say we as African people, we as African people, we as African people must sit down together and discuss our, not fight. Not be say, this not be time for say, I want to fight. Because for 60 years, our lives have been destroyed in this country. I don't see una fight anything. I don't see una fight anything. We must now begin to invest in our food independence. What is a nation that cannot feed itself? Once you're a nation and you're not food sufficient, you're not a nation, you're nothing. So all this must precede, must be in place. Our education, our military, our defense. Is it that we want to separate as Yoruba kingdom in animosity now? So that as our young nation will never get anything, we will fight war with our Hausa brothers constantly because of the animosity, because of all the boundaries. They argue, we will never agree because we just break up like that. We will fight Igbo people. All our borders will be unsafe. That no, we discuss them. Sit down, no matter, it's not too hard. This is what our leaders must put, but you understand, I don't tell you now. These politicians want you to be afraid. All these people you are hailing, all of them are in the pocket of the establishment. All of them, and all these politicians raise them to do job where they give them, to distract you, to disorientate you, to make sure that you don't see the real issues. You understand? So these people are only there because they want you to be afraid. They use violence everywhere, left and right. Violence is expensive, my brother. Violence is not cheap. Violence is very expensive. So we know the kind of people from Nigeria that can afford violence. And then they have paid for the violence non-stop. Not be election they do for Lagos State, where somebody run, enter the rally, take knife, stab MC Oluomo for neck. Say that in the name of election. We know these people, how they love their violence, man. We know how they love their violence. So we now as motherland people, what can we do to? We must detach ourselves from their propaganda. We must detach ourselves from it. We must detach ourselves from their propaganda. All our elites in this country are speaking in violent terms because this is the only place now where they get power for this country. These politicians cannot lie to Nigerians again about road, about house, about how they want to make our life better. So they know, say, if they create fear all over the country, they create violence, they create destruction all over the country, we will be afraid to change them. Because they will tell us, say, only them can fix this chaos. Because now them get the chaos. Now them gonna be chaos. What is chaos if it's not the Nigerian political and business elite? They are the personification of chaos. The way they run their business is chaotic. The way they run the country is chaotic. Both sides chaotic. Both private business chaotic. As in, nobody can tell me, say, private sector in Nigeria is private in any way. It's different from government. Nothing that they do. No telecommunication they work well. No light they work. Nothing. And the chief of staff will die. Tell me he go for road by road. Tell me he go by road. They secure the nation. A whole chief of army staff. You are the chief of army staff. You are moving in your country. You use plane. You know, say, hey, more country will not safe. We're supposed to stay on ground. Go one leg, but our boys. When you lost it, you can clear anything on the road. Let's move. Don't go enter plane. The bandits way they fear for ground. The bandits way they fear for ground. The bandits don't hold up for case close. There's we want for a bandit somewhere. Something. See, you cannot, no more escaping Nigeria. No more road no good, plane safe no good. They know they service somewhere. And you know, people when they enter plane for this country, una get mind die. Since they don't pack kidnappers and bandits full for road, I know they fit travel again. Now only once I don't travel for Nigeria. I went to Kaba. I go inaugurate MOP for Kaba. I take plane, reach Abuja. I can't drive back to Kaba. To say I know, now 4 hours drive to Kaba. To say I know, Kaba na 6 hours from Lagos, 4 hours from Abuja. And for drive from Lagos, JJ. What you consign me? I hate plane for this country. Die. Who show say whether they service am? Person they give money, may go inspect the servicing. They go rubber am. You know go service. You know go look the work. They patch. Everything patch. People they give them this kind of light. Now that they go enter their plane. People they give them this kind of banking system. Now they enter their plane. Let's not be lie, Mr. T. You go tell me clear air like there's no single cloud in the sky. Play with the shake, they will say turbulence. What turbulence? The skies are clear. Clear. That what happened to me at the go Calabar. I went by air to Calabar, I came back by road. I don't talk my mind say, this was like 12 years ago or 13 years ago. I don't talk my mind say, Shehu, you must be mad for entering this place. So they say traffic will kill me for road. How can traffic kill me for road? Traffic can never kill me for road. Traffic will just make me tired for road. This work can actually fucking kill me. This flight, which plane we take that time? No, not be Dana. Now Dana. Before that they are crash. They had their big crash. Before that they are big crash. I'm telling you. We don't go Calabar like this. That's what they play. Every 10 minutes. Like clockwork. The plane will do. So the first 2 times, you know, now 60 minutes, so there are 60. So the first 2 times of the plane shaking, there's not turbulence. But I notice say now 10 minutes interval be this now. Clear skies. This one a mechanical fault because it's too accurate. Because me and my friend Paul, I ain't go the trip that time. I could make Paul, man, they look more say 10 minutes again. I say I don't die today. I don't die. Anyway, I also when I go check Buhari plane too. Listen to Air Force One, be that one. Nigeria Air Force NAF1. Nigeria Air Force One. Yes, now NAF1. When they go service NAF1, I just say Buhari that burial where you go today now by road you go. You know take plane. Take the convoy. Bring up the convoy. Let's go by road. So very Ataru. Bring convoy. We are going go in road. I manage. We manage everything together. I assure you, there shall be no flying. I shall move with a security of 5,000 police, 1,000 military personnel, and we move together to very my good friend. I think we should not. I cannot confirm. I cannot confirm or that I am flying, but I strongly condemn. I strongly condemn those people like Shehu Kuti making fun of this great Nigerian military man that just fast. You know that Shehu Kuti spoke Igbo. Plenty Igbo power. He spoke Igbo power. I no get his brain. I no get things. So I assure all the Nigerians that your airplanes are safe. I assure all the Nigerians that your airplanes are safe. You should not listen to somebody like Shehu Kuti. You should enter the plane every time. You should be rest assured that we are going to protect. We are going to regulate all the functionings of the airline, so that the airline cannot use a substandard and subgraded and downgraded things anyway. You know, I'm not talking. But I shouldn't have road didn't take go to the Sha. So, how do we break out of this nonsense? Now, by force, they take join us, right? That's why many people say that by force we must take break up. If our enemies use by force join us, we must now show them, say we get sense past them and use our own way to reverse the issue. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria not be waiting to cause anybody problem. The problem with this country, like we say, we never cut this country free from those Africans where they happy to subjugate their people on behalf of Europeans and Arabs. I repeat, there's nothing wrong with Nigeria. It just be say this country will never decide to cut off those people we respect Europe and America and Arab world past as they respect us for Africa. That's the only. Whether you go stay for Hausa Republic, or you go for Igbo Republic, or you stay for Yoruba Republic, the same people are going to do the same shit to you, except you get your shit together, man. And now they'll do it to you. They don't get distraction. They'll face you where? Whoa. And also, why all these people they make all this noise? They say Nigeria is the biggest crime scene in the world. I repeat, the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the biggest crime scene in the world. The biggest crime scene. And what do smart criminals do? They disappear evidence, they disappear the crime, they disappear the body. So by breaking up Nigeria, it's like disappearing the body. You understand? So when the body don't disappear now, how you want to take? So all the atrocities we don't commit against me for 38 years of my life. I'll be 38 years now. These people under the name of Nigeria have committed atrocities against me from when I was born to today. To all of us in this country, they don't steal from us, they don't rob us, they don't maim us, they don't kill us. When there is no more Nigeria, how can you hold them to account for what was done under the name of Nigeria? No more Nigeria, no more crime. So all these shouting, they make you shout. When you say that you they shout, you never study them well. Now people, you they shout. Now people words they come out of your mouth, but you don't know because you never think calm. You never sit down, you never think calm because you are giving the illusion of action. And they always suggest all of them that they enjoy my show. You have to read the pedagogy of the oppressed. There's no going around reading this book. You must read the pedagogy of the oppressed. Until you read that, you know, sometimes you go to act. You don't say, no, but you they act. But when you now know, when you know, you can recognize these things when they are happening. And Block yourself. Nigeria is the biggest crime scene in the world, man. Especially for black people, for African people. You know, this is the most populous black nation. As well, the most populous black nation, so they don't kill us the most for this world for no reason whatsoever. So we are actually dying now. So we just want to say all those things, all those atrocities against all of us. It's just going to be swept under the carpet. They're just going to sweep it under the carpet. Say no more Nigeria. So everything will happen in the name of Nigeria now. Hey, bygones be bygones. You see, bygones be bygones. You can't start new one now under your head. Is that what now? What you want to be that? So nobody can come and sell me nonsense. Meaning say all of us be Yoruba. I mean, nobody can call a dog monkey for me. I know dog, I know monkey. Don't come and tell me that's all that yeye pastor where they rape. What it be name? For Abuja? No. Fato Yibo Abi. What it be first name? Biodun Fato. What it that name? Biodun Fato Yibo. That raping pastor where they molest this person's wife. We come outside. Tell me wife.
Yes.
Not say they talk say you can never see a monkey climbing a banana tree. I put it in for my Instagram and Yabanda. Say monkey no fit climb banana tree. He must wait for person to give him banana. That's why you heard the phrase now who dash monkey banana. See that kind of laugh. I'll come and meet you. Okay. Imagine. Just imagine these people, gentlemen. The day they just call dog monkey for us. And we because let's say we don't say dog no be monkey. My dog no be monkey, man. Dog no be monkey. Wanna get out. So everybody asking me about Yoruba Nation. This is my view on Yoruba Nation. If we as Nigerian people want to be Nigerians, we decide to be Nigerians, we can be Nigerians. If the people of Nigeria don't want to be Nigerians and want to be Yoruba people, then let us decide it properly. Let's decide it based on our own narrative. Not be narrative where some idiots just come impose on everybody by force. Based on saying now based on cow, now we as Nigerians want Yoruba won't divide. Now based on cow, based on say cow they chop farm, now we won't divide. I mean we never think and we say basically they say their cow they come. Now we think go make us if we want divide as Yoruba people from Nigeria. Now say cow they can't chop people farm. Now be the problem, Abi. Not be say Shagodi family can't take the whole. You as Lagosian as you do like this, now you cannot see the sea for free anymore. You cannot go to a beach for free anymore. You as a Lagosian, as a Yoruba. Which Yoruba person now? Which Yoruba person for this Yoruba? What they never say they want to go liberate our beach from Lebanese people? We don't go overtake everything. Why? Why they never say they want we as Yoruba people want the sea beach? Why that one not paying them? You not paying them. Say all our natural resources in Yoruba land is controlled by a few and foreigners. That one no, you know, make them want leave Nigeria. Say Nigeria let them the chance them. Say all our local manufacturing is dead in Yoruba land. We have to import foreign things all the time. Foreigners are collecting 5 times what every Yoruba man is collecting in his own land. Any work any Yoruba man is doing in Lagos, in Ibadan, in Osun, in Ondo, in Ife, anywhere we are, if a Yoruba man come work, they are paying him 5 times more than any Yoruba man. That one never let their heads back before. Now because of cow, I won't weary. And you know go dead there, go they repeat nonsense, go they regurgitate nonsense. Now cow where they chop this thing and they make una the verse. Now that one make that one make me vex because first of all that fucking farm where they go chop that fucking I can't afford the food coming from those farms, man. I have no allegiance to those farmers. Can you afford the food that those farmers are growing? Can you afford it? Your fellow Yoruba fucking farmers, can you afford the food they are growing? Can you afford it? So some bastards don't know if you afford their cow meat. And some bastards don't know if you afford their food. They fight themselves. They destroy themselves business. They're not going to make my own head. They spark. When they make my head, they spark every day. They see them from my eye. Nobody talk anything about them. Let's go and see the amount of Yoruba children dying in General Hospital. As we are talking like this now. Mo go General Hospital. All general hospitals in Yoruba land. Let's go and see the state of those hospitals. In control of Yoruba governors. In control of Yoruba local government councillors. Let's go and look at our hospitals. Let's go now. Let's go and look at all our hospitals. Are people not dying there? I mean, when headsmen keep person and be die. When headsmen keep person and be die, how many children of Yoruba land are dying on the highway for nothing? Avoidable deaths. Billionaires that cannot service or repair or invest in good trucking in this country. Do you know how many people they've killed this year alone? Buy Punch newspaper every week, Nigerians. Buy Punch newspaper, open Punch newspaper to page 3. They do the city report. They talk about the people that are dying every day. Avoidable deaths on highway. Avoidable deaths. Getting killed. Avoidable deaths on this highway. Do you know how many Yoruba children's blood have just been irrationally, senselessly? They say that the headsmen kill people. Headsmen burnt. The governor of Lagos State and both killing poor people in Lagos every day, chasing them out of their land and seizing it, rendering them homeless. Yoruba people. I hear now Yoruba people indeed. Yoruba people, and now I'm not saying I be Yoruba people. Anybody who don't get hand in killing Yoruba people cannot come and tell me about Yoruba nation. I repeat, anybody that's had a hand in killing Yoruba people senselessly under any kind of pretext cannot come and discuss to me about any Yoruba nation. They keep people up and down, keep people anywhere. They can't come back and I still want to do Yoruba nation. So that's my take. Everybody really can't ask me about Yoruba nation. That's my take on it. The fact saying when Fulani people bring cow, then they know say Yoruba land is encroached. Then they say the Yoruba land has been stolen. I mean, these people are intellectually dishonest. What is the Femi Fani-Kayode? All these bastard men. You people are dangerous to this country. I mean, and kote en sheyi, agbadeni, àwọn kote en sheyi. Àwọn rumele abere lọ́wọ́ yín lọ́la. Because agbalagba ni. Shey now Yoruba land, they don't take Yoruba land. Shey now they don't take Yoruba land. Is it now that Yoruba land has been taken? Is it now? What do Yoruba people own in this land? What do we own except these chosen few billionaire Yoruba where they oppress all of us other Yorubas? What do Yoruba people call? What do we own for here? What do we own? What do we own here? What do we? As 74% of Nigeria's economy is foreign owned. 74. I repeat to you, 74% of everything in Nigeria, all this money is foreign. Foreign. So you're already owned, ladies and gentlemen. You're already owned. Don't let them come and tell you that they want to own you. The outside is coming to you. You are already owned. That's what I've been telling you all. Owned. Let's break free. Let's break free. So if we're going to break free, we're not going to break free in the way that we're going to tie our leg with shackle again and shackle ourselves down into a stupid ass war that doesn't make any sense. For how many years? Fighting for who? Fighting for what? Fighting against who? So we just stand up now. Everybody start chasing all the Hausa people out of Lagos. Hey. Also say we'll stand up here, chase all the Yoruba people out of North. Hey. I mean, man, everybody's involved. Everybody's involved. And let me tell you something. That the Northerners were favored more by the West and their Arab overlords than you. Is the reason why they are angry. Finish. When they all have opportunities to go and smile with Oyibo, don't they? And then they go. we as Yoruba people must choose by referendum. We must reject all violence to fight for these people. We must insist. We must insist in negotiation. We must insist. Let's negotiate it. We are not animals. We are human beings. These people, the job of our political and business elite is to continue to project this African image, to rule our country in a way where we say it go be like say African people they craze to fit the racist agenda of the Arabs and the West. Yeah. So that's why they rule us like this, they behave like this. That's why the they beat us for street. Like say if they talk to us with mouth, we no go hear. They do anyhow. Because they want to project us. Because they want to project us as animals. And we are helping. And we are helping these people to project us like animals. We must insist. The way that they negotiate, the way this Nigerian political elites they negotiate when they share our money, the way that they negotiate when they share oil well, the way they negotiate when they share bribe, when they hear noise for outside. Now so we must negotiate this one too. Now so we must negotiate them. We go negotiate them, nothing will happen when everybody will just agree. We go move. You hear me so? We not agree any nonsense we they want to use for us here, man. We must negotiate them the way that they negotiate their corruption. Because that won't matter to them. It matters to them where. They go sit down there, they negotiate, nobody they hear noise, nobody they hear fight. And if I say Buhari fight one PDP person before go season oil where. Now lie. As Buhari, as opposed to they hear Buhari every day, Buhari no revoke his oil license. So they can quarrel and still do business. No, they must give us to the same accord. They must give us the same accord. The same accord. We must negotiate. We must. They want to divide Nigeria, fine. We will do a referendum. Then we will still balance the books. Nigeria can't just disappear. And everybody carry up so we don't thief for Nigeria. All the people life we don't destroy. Say disappear. Come up for Nigeria. No more Nigeria. No more crime. No more Nigeria. No more crime. I just say for this meeting, when they decide this what they want to do so. Now waiting they take come for the meeting with that. No more Nigeria. No more crime. If we make these people scatter themselves, we don't chop go at the jello, nothing they happen. I'm not to face money. I'm to face money corner in front of one thing. I'm called jello. I'm a jello. I already met jello dio, and they tell you they don't chop, they won't chop go, and they tell Aye Monica o. Aye Monica Lewinsky. Aye Monica Lewinsky. Monica Lewinsky o. Aye Monica o. Okay. But I don't worry. We there here, we wait for that. We there here, we wait for that. We there here, we wait for now. We there here. Okay. So topic number 2 of the day. So I believe anyway, before I end up round up this one, I'm just saying, I believe we can be self-sufficient. Yes, let's do that. But I mean, we can be independent Yoruba people. I'm all for that. African people, in my own eyes, we are great enough to achieve anything we want to achieve. If we want to make Nigeria, we can do it. If we want to make Yoruba nation, we can do it. But we must insist this time on self-sufficiency. Yoruba nation is not going to move forward if Yoruba nation cannot feed itself. Yeah. And you know that we see how Yoruba people in Benin Republic and Togo, all those countries, are we just going to let them remain to be Togolese and remain to be Benin? What are we going to liberate the Yoruba people that are in Benin, in Togo, in Ghana, to come and enjoy the largesse that we are about to unleash here in our ancestral land? So we have to take the story there to our brothers and sisters. Is a gospel in Brazil, in Cuba, Yoruba people all over the world. I mean, what is this myopic Yoruba nation that we are looking at? Anyway, so let's move on. So the second question people have been asking me recently is about Fela's what I think about Fela not being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now, what do I think that was the reason, was the meaning? You know, if people remember, and for this, you know what? For this, let me give you guys a story. I never tell this story publicly. When this lady say, I love your ideologies because you are not pushing for an absolute Nigeria. No, of course. You see, don't get me wrong. Me, I'm not a Nigeria must stay. I'm not a one Nigeria. I'm not a one Nigeria, no. In fact, when I hear people say, the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. When I hear people say the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable, you know what I hear from that? It is coon. You know what Oyibo people, you know what Americans they call coon. Coon now, black man where they shake for Oyibo. Where if you see white people, because they do like this, anybody where they fall for Oyibo, now be coon. So when I hear our president or any of these people say the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable, waiting me at the year, we say is coon speak for what the white man has joined together. Let no black man put asunder. That's some bullshit. The unity of Nigeria is highly negotiable, highly debatable. You understand? Is coon speak, real coon shit. Where these people they carry around, you know. We must. What do you mean the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable? So you are saying what the white man has joined together. Let come on. So we can, but we must do it with negotiation, not violence. Africa will not afford more violence, and I don't know why this don't make sense to you people. Because even though we won't fight, the people who are supposed to fight, we are not fighting them along the right lines. If to say we won't even fight for this country, say we won't rebel, there's revolution to fight, it must be we, the people of all ethnicities in this country, of all internationalities in this country. It is we, the people, against those people that continue to sell Africans for things. Those people that put things over the lives of people. That's the only war we have to fight in Africa that I will join. The only war me I can fight in Nigeria or in Africa is when we as Africans decide that we, the people, want to fight those people that value things, material things, above the existence of their people, above the life of their people. Do you understand? That is the war me I want to fight. As soon as we get that consciousness, we want to unite as the people against those that continue to sell us for nothing. That is a fight, not a fight that they are using you to go and kill other poor people. And you say you are fighting. What are you fighting? You are fucking stupid. That's not fighting. That's you not having any shishi sense in your head. 262. Okay. So my team supposed to play today for what do they call it, for DSTV. I now have a football team and it's supposed to show on live but for some reason it didn't happen. He paid me. I was looking forward to that. So for me, that's my standpoint. That's my standpoint. If we decide to want fight for this country, we must decide what we want fight for. And I can't fight on behalf of cow owner and because of farm owner. I can't. Honestly speaking, all the Yoruba people growing food that we cannot afford. How can you be growing food that is making your people hungry? That's how I see farmers in Nigeria. As long as there are Nigerian people that cannot afford food in Nigeria, that means what you are growing is not food. You are growing hunger. Because you are growing food that some people in your country cannot afford. That means you are using food as a way to do what? To do what? You are using food as a way to... How can some people be in a country and cannot afford food? Who is growing that food? Who is growing it? Well, let me just forget this thing. Let's now go to the Hall of Fame matter. And I'll give people a personal story that I've not shared publicly before. But I have to share it publicly so that maybe people begin to understand what it means when African artists decide not to use the music to make you crave Western things, to make you make Western people rich, to make you think that you can only have value when you attach all these things to yourself, to make you value things over people. When your music as an African person is truly from a place of love for your people. You see, many people, they talk to me, say, oh, Seun, but Europeans love your music. See, the people everywhere are different from the system. You have to understand, there's a system in place. Now there are people all over the world that believe in what I believe in. And I find my family everywhere, right across humanity. Because I don't carry my music go everywhere for this world. Bro, I've played in places that me go and no believe say anybody there don't know what be cool instead of Kuti. But receiving mad love, ovations, sellout shows. So now, personally speaking, when your music truly and your image does nothing to elevate white capital, white capitalism, white capital, white materialism and all that, even the system is willing to work with you. My musical career is great. Why? Because people love to work with me. But does that mean the establishment wants to elevate me? No. As long as I'm able to do good work that has value. Yes, the system is built in a way that you must be able to monetize that value. But now you are in the room monetizing your value, but will they elevate you? Will they want to see you elevate? Will they want to bring you up? Like when you're working in the office and you're telling your guy the truth, are you the person your guy will want to promote? Or they want to promote the one that is saying yes sir, yes sir? So I'll give you my personal experience. And I hope that you can relate it to what happened with this whole Fela voting thing. I'll give you my Grammy experience. And I want you people to, after this story, make your decision on whatever. So, in case you don't know, Black Times was my 4th album. And if you know, my brother too has been nominated for the Grammys 4 times without them giving him the win. You know, and even though Fela came 2nd in their voting, you know, they were giving people that came 6th, 7th, the voting didn't count. You know, I already knew that. And that's why I said this in the beginning. When they asked me, I said, you know, Fela is already in the greatest Hall of Fame. And that is in the heart of the African people. You know, that's the greatest Hall of Fame ever. That Fela is in our hearts, and ain't nothing going to take that away. Nobody can ever remove him from that Hall of Fame, and that's the greatest Hall of Fame. Any other thing is a bonus. Fela already deserves it. You know, hey, what the hell? What else do you have for him? You know, you should check my interview, you know. So, moving on, I'll give you my story. I was supposed to perform the year that I got nominated as well. I don't know, many people don't remember that, you know, and I never told the story of why I didn't perform, you know. I never said the story, I never told anybody anything. I just, you know, people were just talking shit. Oh, blah, 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 blah. You're the one that missed your performance, it's your business, you shouldn't, you know. So nobody knows anything, you know, but they like to talk. You know, they like to run their mouth. Grammys, to have your album enter the Grammy, right? To have your album enter the Grammy, you have to enter your album by the 30th of September that year. You know, the year before. You know, so if it's in February as usual. So the September before that February, you must have registered, you must have entered your album for consideration. Right? So I told my record label, I was like, please don't forget to enter this album. You know, I've never got a nomination. I don't know why. I've never gotten a nomination. You know, so I want you people to make sure that you put my album in. You know, he said, for sure, your album is actually really doing good. You know, and really, Black Times was a huge success for me. You know, I think they even called me one day to say the album had recouped. Listen, ask fellow artists what it means when your album recoups. You know, and I don't have YouTube views, or I don't have video for the album. It's not by YouTube views. It's not by a lot of streams. It like actually sold a lot of copies. You know. So like recoup, wow, you know, I was really, so anyway, the album was a really good album. You know. We even made it into number 130 something in the pop charts in the UK. You know. We were number 130 something. We cannot enter the pop charts, but really, really low. You know, but it's not even a pop album, you know. Anyway, let me go on. So my record company assures me, oh yeah, definitely, sure, we love you, we're going to enter your, you know, this album is great. I mean, it's a great album, everybody loves it, we love it. This is my record company boss talking to me, telling me, oh sure, blah, blah, blah. So me, I leave London. I left London I think I left London on the 20th of September. That's because I had a show. I never forget, there was a Jameson show at the Shrine that they booked me for on the 1st of October. So I was coming to Shrine to meet up with the show. So the show was the 1st of October. You remember what I said, right? That Grammy, to enter your album for the Grammys, closes on the 30th of September. So I was on Shrine now on the 1st of October. That means the entry has closed. My album should be in for consideration, you know. 1st of October is closed, it's done, finished. As soon as I finished the show, sorry, I went backstage in the Shrine, you know, to chill with my friends. I pick up my phone. This was the 1st of October. Remember, the entries have closed. I pick up my phone. There's an email. I open the email, and it's from the Grammys. So me, I'm thinking they are saying, oh, thanks for entering your album or whatever. But I read the email, and the Grammys are saying, oh, hello, Mr. Kuti. It's an honor to get your email. We got it from one of my friends that was in his wife. Was this reggae artist, my big bro in LA. Oh, why is his name skipping my mind now? Oh, I'll try and remember his name before I finish this, you know. So they got it from his wife, and the email, oh, Mr. Kuti, wow, we loved your Black Times record. You know, we've heard the record, we loved it, but we realized you did not enter it for this year's Grammys, and we would love for it to be a part of this year's Grammys. So it was the Grammys that actually let me know that my record company did not enter my album. I repeat, the Grammys let me know, because they thought I just like I wasn't interested. They thought I didn't enter my album. But my record company did not enter the album for me while they were telling me that they had put it in. When I now called, let me not jump the story. So my record company that put out my record for me refused, while telling me to my face that they had entered the album, because they did not expect that the Grammys would ever reach out to me personally. But they don't know the kind of juju me I've done in this life. If only these people, they know the kind of juju I have done in my life. If only they know the sacrifice, the etutu, the ebo that me I have carried in this life, they will not play with me like that. They will not play with me like that. They must have think me I'm some Jesus Christ Africa, or this Muhammad and Jesus Africa. They didn't know that me I was an original African. So this is how to show you that even though they work with us, because of what I do for my people, they refuse to elevate me. I mean, these people, no, me I know they pray, me I they do juju, I know they go church. I know they call prayer juju, and now juju. Emi ma mu le pẹ̀lú àwọn orun mo le ni. Ile ba mi sọ, it concern me and Jesus and prayer. I don't be babalawo since the age of 16. Now 16 I carry Ifa, age of 16. Then I don't get my Ifa, I don't divinate. Don't try me, don't let me verse for you. I just play, but I don't divinate since 16. Sha. These motherfuckers refuse to enter my album. You see how they work with you and at the same time refuse to elevate me? Yes, that is the game. And the game was exposed immediately. The Grammys wrote me. I said, but my record company told me they've sent this record, that they've put this record in. And here's the Grammys saying, so the Grammys was like, oh, if I want to be a part of this year's process, that even though it has closed, I should still send my album to them so that they can put it in the process. Now, I call back my record label. Remember this same record label that called me to tell me how good my album was, how well it was doing, how great the album was, how they love my album, how they can't wait to enter it for the Grammys. And I called him after I've caught him now. Quentin, you did not enter my app. I sent my niggas for London going office now. He locked himself inside office. I sent my I made the call immediately. Say, Eloba mi ba will office here. I give them address. They show it. He called me. Say, you sending people to me? Idiot bastard. When he called about me ba will, I said we just want to talk to you. We want to talk. Come out. We want to talk to you. Let's talk. Bastard. It is a me I dey play. Exactly, Adetokunbo. Exactly. You are praised for knowing the job, being great at it, but will not give you the position that will pay you and give you recognition. That is it. Right there. That's white supremacy at work. Right there. That sister broke it down perfect. Go and look at all my album reviews. From Rolling Stones, all of them, New York Times, they all review my album. No one is 4-star, good album. All my albums are made. But will that now mean that the corporations will back you with money and visibility? Never. You must find that by yourself. So that's how the Grammy helped me cast those motherfuckers. That's how the Grammys helped me cast those motherfuckers. Good idea, I'll pin it. Yes, it's true. This is the star comment of the day. Adetokunbo. Oridupa, 2 beer for you. Is he a guy or a girl? I can see a guy and I don't know who is who. But when I see a guy and a girl, I always believe it's the girl. Don't judge me, it's the girl. You know. So that's how I found out they did not enter my album. Now that's not all, though. It's not finished. They've not finished showing me. Just because I caught them didn't mean this. Just because I caught them didn't mean that they've given up. That they are done sabotaging. So this is how I got my Grammy nomination, everybody. I've not told the story. This thing happened when? 2018. This is 2021, 3 years, you know. But it was this fella's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because people are acting like it's more than what it is. The fact that they even put us on this platform shows the greatness that we are. I tell you, because really, for every that step that you see us take that we become visible, for every that one step that, because even in Nigeria, how visible am I in Nigeria? How visible? How many companies want to use me for promo? How many? How many? So that's how you see it. No visibility. They're trying to, for every step that we take forward, due to our talent, our drive, you know, our tenacity, we are taking it forward with like 500 chains holding us back. Trust me on that one. Trust me on that. You know, trust me on that. There's nothing that is happening. It's not show money that they are using. It's not show money that they are using. It's all this corporation money. If it's by show, I make music money. Nobody makes money than me in Nigeria. Say money from music show. I rack up too. But they now get all this extra. When anybody want to play party, play love, it's them they want to see. It's them the visible, everybody, only them. See, fine. So now, after they finish, the Grammys now said they wanted me to perform at the event. That, oh, we also enjoy your live performances. I think one of their people had come to see me play because I do a lot of shows in LA. You know, LA is like second is my favorite city to play in America. Second is New York. Third is Chicago. But LA is my favorite city to be in. You know, and they showed me a lot of love in LA. A lot of love. You know, like people really show me love in LA. So they had seen me. So they said, we want you to perform also there. And you know, the Grammy, like, you perform, you win. It's like, it's kind of like that, you know. But I wasn't saying I'm going to win, like, you know. I got to the airport, and there was no ticket for me to travel. They fucked me up. So between my manager, my agent, record company, everybody said that they didn't get the ticket on the thing. Without telling me that there was no ticket there. I was going to LA. That's how I missed my rehearsal. And because it's a live, you know, they televise it, they film it, everything has to be like on point. They have to rehearse it. So as I made the rehearsal, I couldn't perform because my fucking manager and record company did not get my ticket also. So they didn't tell me that they weren't going to get it. If they had told me, I would have gotten it myself. You understand? I was at the airport to check in at like 10. I always like arriving late, you know. How would I be that they didn't give me a ticket? I got no ticket. Before I could try and buy online, the flight had closed. That's how I missed my Grammy performance. So people thought, oh, I missed my Grammy, like I was some kind of irresponsible twat. You know, I just took the hits because, well, it is what it is. It is what it is. But it was some people that did not put my tickets for me to travel. Yeah. So I understand everything. For me, everything is everything. Everything is everything, you know. So, and me, I'm alive going through that, you know. And imagine my father that is dead. How is he going to see? Let me tell you, people, African people all over the world, working class people all over the world, not even only African working class, European working class, Arabic working class. Once people speak for the people, because to a certain extent, my music also speaks to the global people. I mean, yes, I'm primarily speaking for African liberation, but it's also connected to working class people everywhere in the world, because the class struggle for me is still the greatest struggle for humanity, for us as the working class people of this world, to topple those that choose to dominate, those that choose to oppress, those that used to hoard and concentrate wealth, you know. Even in the Constitution of Nigeria, I kid you not, go and check it. Article 2, chapter 16, subsection B. Go and check it. It is unconstitutional to concentrate wealth in the hands of individuals or groups in this country. It is an unconstitutional act, even in the Constitution of Nigeria. You know, so when you hear all the Dangote saying they have 25 billion, $10 saying he has this billion, this billion, it is an unconstitutional act. It is there in our constitution that no, the government economic policy must not be formed in a way as such as to concentrate wealth in the hands of individuals or groups. It's there. And the means of production too is right there in this constitution that they say that is useless. But it's because they don't want to implement that side of it, you know. They say all these things. So when they don't give Fela Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, trust me, the fact that they even acknowledge him is victory enough. You should not, I mean, it's nothing. These things are nothing. I mean, me too now, I realize even the Grammys, you know, for me is nothing. Fuck the Academy. I can say right now, fuck the Academy, you know. We respect them and everything, but their validation is not as important to me as the validation of African people. You understand? So for me, I kept telling people that my Grammy award, the Grammy that I did not win, me missing my show at the Grammy. When people ask me what is most disappointing about that experience for me, I tell them that it's not the fact that I didn't win the Grammy or I missed my show. It's the fact that of all the award ceremonies in Africa, hundreds and hundreds of award ceremonies in Africa, not a single one nominated Black Times for a single category in this continent. And that for me was just so painful. I mean, it was so painful. I mean, that one actually hurt me, and there's no shame. I was losing sleep, I was spiteful, I was hateful. Any journalist that called me in Nigeria time, I was just telling them off. I was refusing interviews, and that's why I now started saying, fuck any Nigeria radio station, fuck any Nigeria TV station. What are they going to do? They are going to not play my music. What is the worst thing they are going to do to me? They are going to not play my music some more? Exactly. Thank you, Cam. See, that's it. Section 16, chapter 2C. Article 16, chapter 2C. Just please, Nigerian, go and read that part of the Constitution. And come and tell me, you know. So, these people, this is what they do. So, in this Africa, so it was after that Black Times, and then I realized that the fact that the Grammy Awards nominated me, institutions in my continent, how can I ever be happy? How can I think that I'm making it? What is the greatness? Where is it coming from? So I'm completely shut out and not validated in my nation, in my continent. But the Grammys nominating my album, why I could not even get, I mean, a single nomination in my own country, in my West Africa, in the region, in the sub-region, in the whole continent, nothing. You know, and if the Grammys can send me email, motherfuckers, you can send me email too. You know, so don't just shut the fuck up. Nobody should give me any dumbass excuse of why. You know, and moreover, anybody that doesn't like it should die. I am Fela's son. You understand? This is musical royalty for you people. I mean, that's how I know that you don't really respect my dad as much as you say you do. Because if you truly respected Fela as much as you say you do, kissing the ring shouldn't be so hard for you people. Kissing the ring shouldn't be so hard for you people. You understand? Because it is the bloodline, right? And we do the work, you know. So we put out an album. It should go without saying that, oh, the Kutis have projects out, we have to endorse those projects. Without saying, because I don't see 50 Cent, Drake, Jay-Z, Beyonce, I don't see any of their PR people coming all the way from America to come and meet people in your stupid ass offices to come and tell you to play their video or play their music before you are playing it as if it's our national anthem. Because I don't see Jay-Z and Beyonce or anybody sending PR to you, but you willingly play all their music. hype them up all day and night as if they are your cousins. But Seun Kuti must come and be begging you in your office before you can what's office when you turn and fire your office. You know, men are not just anyway. So that's it. That's that. So that's what I think about those two things. And I feel that with this stories we are given her, you know, people can at least understand my position, you know, and this is my position. You understand? Now, don't get me wrong. Now, back to the Yoruba Nation issue. This is my position. If you agree with it, cool. If you don't, fine. But this is my position, and I'm entitled to it. Nobody, me, I've passed the past in my political enlightenment where anybody can impose vision on me. Thank you, motherland people.